Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sheila. In today's video we're going to be learning how to make this very simple yet classy bralette. It's made of floral motifs that are joined together to form the band at the base of the top, and then the bra cups are made with a padding on the inside. This is going to be my very next tutorial, so watch out for it because it's going to accompany this one so that you can get the same exact look. So for this project you're going to need yarn, and for the yarn I used Lamaya, and for the yarn I used Lamaya yarn right from Hobiam Yarns all the way from Istanbul, Turkey. I'll be attaching their link in the description box so that you can get the same exact yarn. The yarn is 100% cotton, and it is 120 meters, which is 130 yards, and I needed 2 of these to create the full top. So you just grab 2 of these and you're good to go. You can see it's the same exact shade. And then the other thing that you'll need is 2.75 millimeter crochet hook, as well as a 4 millimeter crochet hook. We shall be using both these hooks at different points, and then we shall also need a tapestry needle. And for the bra cups, this will come in our very next tutorial, so watch out for it. This will be step 2 of making this particular top. So yeah, that's all that you need, so let's jump into the tutorial. I'll be working this top from the bottom, which is made of these motifs. I'll be showing you how to make these motifs and how to join them. So we shall be working from this, and then we shall go to the upper part later. So let's begin. You're going to grab your yarn and you're going to start off with a slip knot, and then you're going to make a chain of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So after your 5 chains, you're going to go into the very first chain that you made and make a slip stitch. So that will create a very tiny circle where we are going to be placing the stitches for our very first round. So we are going to round 1 and we are going to chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then you're going to go into that circle for a total of 11 double crochets. So go into the circle. This is 1 double crochet, and we need a total of 11 double crochets. So continue to do that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So since I said the chain 3 at the beginning counts as a stitch, you'll have a total of 12 double crochets including the chain 3 at the beginning. So you're going to go on top of the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you go into the 3rd chain and place a slip stitch to round off the first round. So that's the end of round 1. So we are going to round 2, and for round 2 you're going to chain up 3, and we are going to do 4 double crochets together. So since this counts as a stitch, for the very first cluster of 4 double crochets, we shall be doing 3 double crochets together because we already have this chain. So you're going to go into that very space here, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 2 loops, and then yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So those are 3 loops on your hook, and then do it again. yarn over, insert your hook, pull through. You'll have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So you'll have 4 loops on your hook, but you see we are joining a total of 1, 2, 3 and 4 stitches. So yarn over, pull through all. So that's your cluster of 4 double crochets together, and then you're going to chain up 5, and then you're going to go into the next stitch with 4 double crochets together. So yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, which is this one. So go into both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 1, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, that's the second stitch. Then repeat the same process, that's the 3rd stitch, and then this is the 4th stitch. So you'll have a total of 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, and chain 5. So we are going to repeat this until we have a total of 12 clusters of 4 double crochets together, because remember the very first round had a total of 12 stitches, so that means we shall have 12 clusters separated by chain 5 spaces. So continue to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back when you have round 2 finished. So we're almost coming to the end, and you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we are supposed to have 12. And you can see that very last stitch here, it's the one that's going to get your very last cluster. So chain 5 and do a cluster of 4 double crochets together in that very last stitch. And after doing that, you're going to chain up 5 and then go on top of the very first cluster that you made. So that very first cluster, go into it with a slip stitch. So that marks the end of round 2. And now we are going to round 3. And for round 3, you're going to slip stitch into the next chain 5 space 2 times. So that's 1 and then 2. This will bring us to the middle of the chain 5 loop. Then you're going to chain up 1 and single crochet in that very space. So that's what you should have. And then you're going to make a chain of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space. Chain 7. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and continue to do that all the way around. chain 7, single crochet in the next chain 5 space. So we are coming to the end of round 3, and we are chaining 7 and then going into the very first single crochet that we did for this row and going into it with a slip stitch. So this is what you should have for round 3. Your work should look exactly like this. And now we are going to round 4, which is the very final round of our work. So for round 4, you're going to slip stitch into the first chain 7 space once, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, and then you're going to do 3 double crochets together because this counts as a stitch. It would have been 4, but we are doing 3 because the chain 3 counts as a stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that a total of 3 times. So that's the second and then the third. So you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, chain up 7, and then in that same exact space you're going to go in there with 4 double crochets together. So continue to do a cluster of 4 double crochets together. I hope you still remember how to do that. So you have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all. So this is our very first corner, and then you're going to chain up 7, and then single crochet in the next chain 7 loop, chain 7, single crochet in the next chain 7 loop, chain 7, and now we are going to create our next corner here in this loop. So go in with 4 double crochets together, 3 and 4, yarn over, pull through all, and then chain 7 and do 4 double crochet together, cluster in the same space. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then yarn over, pull through all. So you'll have created another corner at this point. So far we have 2 corners, and we shall create another corner here and another corner here. So let's continue. Chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, and create another corner. So in the next space we shall have 4 double crochets together, cluster, and after that you're going to chain up 7 and do another 4 double crochets together, and that will be it for the third corner. So you can see we are moving away from the circular shape to a boxed shape. So right now we are left with only making one corner, so let's continue. So chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, and now we are going to create our very last corner here in this loop. So 4 double crochets together, and then chain up 7, and then 4 double crochets together in that same space to create our very final corner. Yarn over, pull through all, and now we are going to complete our row. So chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, single crochet in your next loop, chain up 7, and then we've come to the beginning of our round, and you'll go into that very first cluster of 4 double crochets together and make a slip stitch. So that will have created 4 corners for us. So the corners are in between the 4 double crochet clusters. Those are your corners. And now the next thing that I'm going to show you is how to join, how to move from this stage to this stage here, where you have all of them lined up but attached. So I'm imagining that I had this and I want to add it to this line. So let's begin. You will make the same exact motif like this one that we've made, but then you will stop on the, you'll do the first corner, the second corner, then before you do the third corner. So let me take you back to this level before we did this corner. So far we had done 1, 2, and before you do the third corner, let's start at this point. I'm imagining I want to attach this motif at this side, on this side. So when you do your corner here, you chain 7, single crochet, chain 7, single crochet, chain 7, do your first group of 4 double crochets together, and then instead of chaining 7, you'll chain up 4, because 4 is the exact mid of 7. So you'll chain up 4 and then lay your work flat on the right side of your work. So we are going to be joining this side to this side, and we shall end up having something like this. Exactly. So after your chain of 4, you will put your hook through this loop of this corner here and pull through the loop like that, and then chain 3 more to get back to 7 chains, because we had only chained 4, so plus 3, that is 7, and then go into the same space to complete the corner with the next 4 double crochet cluster. So 4 double crochets together, so we finished this, and then you're going to chain up 4 again. Instead of 7, we would have chained 7 and then here, but we are going to chain 4 and then grab this next loop, pull through this loop like that, then chain 3 more like that, and then go into the next chain 7 space and make a single crochet like that. So you can see we are joining this part, and then next we are going to chain up 4, remove your hook, put it through the next chain 7 space, pull through the loop. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. Then chain up 3 to make a total of 7 chains, and then you single crochet in the next chain 7 loop. And then the next is to chain up 4, remove your hook, go into this space, the chain 7 space, pull through that loop, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. So you should keep in mind which loop is going to get the corner. So for this motif, this is the loop that gets the corner, so we are going to place that corner. So we go in with 4 double crochets together, like that, and then you're going to chain up 4, remove your hook, put your hook through this next loop, pull through, chain 3 more, and complete your corner with the next 4 double crochet cluster, but in the same space to create the corner. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, pull through all. So you can see we've joined the 2 motifs in the perfect way. We don't have any seam line, everything looks blended. So after this, you're going to continue with your round, chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, single crochet in the next loop, chain 7, and then finish up your round with a slip stitch on top of the very first cluster that you made for your round. And then you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. So you're going to go ahead and keep joining these motifs until you get a length that goes around your rib cage but not totally. So if I'm to measure this, it's about 24 inches when not stretched. I don't want to overstretch it, so it's about 24 inches, and my rib cage measures about 30 inches. So that means I've left a space of around 6 inches provision for my straps. So make sure you get a measurement that's not totally all the way around your rib cage, because we shall put some straps at the end. And this marks the base, the end of the base of the top. You're going to continue to work and keep joining your motifs. I did a total of 5 motifs, and yeah, I used my 4mm hook. So whatever you choose to use, this will entirely depend on your tension, on your hook, on your yarn. So do what's best for you, and then we shall go to the top part of the bralette and start working on that. So for the top part of our top, we shall be making bra cups with our 2.75mm crochet hook, and we are going to start off with a slip knot, and we are going to chain up 16. I'll be attaching the centimeters that you need for the different sizes for the starting chain. So for me, I chained 16, and that measures a total of 7 centimeters, and I'm going to be working a medium size for this top. So when I have my 7 centimeters, you're going to chain 3 more, or whatever number that you needed for your measurement, and then go into the 4th chain from the hook with a double crochet, and you're going to keep double crocheting all the way across your work until the very last chain. Actually the second last chain, because the last chain is going to get something different. So go into each and every chain with 1 double crochet. So I'm done with my second last, and that's the very last stitch, and the last stitch will get a total of 5 double crochets, a total of 5 double crochets in the very last chain at the end of your chain. So after your 5 double crochets, we are going to be working the opposite side. So go into each and every chain with 1 double crochet all the way back to the beginning of our chain. So as I work my back side of the chain, I'm weaving in that tail that was behind my work so that I get rid of it as I work. I don't have to weave it in later. So go all the way to the end of your row, and don't forget to place 1 double crochet in the very last stitch, which is attached to a chain 3 at the beginning. So I'm going in there with 1 double crochet, and that's what I have for my very first row. And now we're going to row 2. So you're going to chain up 3, turn your work, and then you're going to double crochet in the next stitch, because the chain 3 is attached to the very first stitch. So go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet, and then keep double crocheting all the way up. So when you get to the 5 double crochets that you placed in the exact top stitch, you're going to go into the very first double crochet with 1 double crochet, go into the second with 1 double crochet, and into the third, because the third is the exact middle of the 5 stitches, you're going to go into the third with 5 double crochets. So the third stitch is the exact middle of our work, and it always gets 5 double crochets. And then you continue with 1 double crochet all the way to the end of your work, to the end of row 2. So that will create a very good shaping for our bra-cap. You can see the shape has already started taking place. The shaping is already taking place. So I'm finishing up my second row right now. placing 1 double crochet in each and every stitch. So that's what we have for row 2. And for row 3, we are going to repeat row 2 again and again until we get the coverage that is needed for our particular size. So if you're making for yourself, you can consider putting it against yourself so that you make sure that the fitting is exactly how you want it to be. But you have to also make sure it doesn't cover you entirely, because we have to deal with edging and all that. So give room for about 1 inch. So here we are, working more and more rows so that I get the needed coverage. So I ended up with 8 rows, and that was enough for the medium size that I was making for. So we're going to do the edging. You're going to chain up 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, skip the next stitch and go into the next with 1 double crochet. We are creating a mesh effect, so chain 1, skip the next, go into the next with a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next, go into the next with a double crochet, and continue to do this all the way up to the exact middle stitch. The 3rd stitch of the 5 double crochets is the exact middle. So let me go off camera and I do that. So when you get to the exact top, I'm going to skip the next stitch, chain 1, and then go into the exact middle and double crochet, chain 1, go into the same exact stitch with 1 double crochet, chain 1, and go into that very stitch with 1 double crochet. So that stitch has a total of 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, skip the next stitch and go into the next, and we are going to go with that flow until the end of the row, just chaining 1, skipping the next stitch and going into the next stitch. So I'm done, and this is what the work looks like. So you're going to go ahead and make 2 of these bra cups, 2 identical bra cups. Here is mine, and then we shall be attaching those bra cups onto the lower part of our top that we did in the first place. So you're going to introduce the lower part of the top, and then we shall be attaching the bra cups. So you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. Leave a very long strand to work with when you're attaching your tops. Your bra cups, sorry. Chain 1 and leave a very long strand for attaching. So here are my bra cups ready to work with. You should make sure they are identical and exactly the same, because we don't want one breast looking bigger than the other. So you're going to get your lower part, and we are going to start the attaching bit, the lower part to our bra cups. So let's get into it. Alright, so these are the parts of our top. This is the bottom side, then these are the bra cups, and the bra cups are going to be placed like this, not the ordinary way we make the top like this. We're going to be placing them like this. So we're going to first get rid of this, And we're going to get our 4mm crochet hook, and then you're going to make a row of single crochets. So I've already done that. You can see a row of single crochets here. I've done a row of single crochets down here, and I'm going to do the same exact thing up here. So what I did was I placed a total of 3 single crochets here in this first space, and all these next 3 spaces get 4 single crochets, and then these chains that intersect, each of them gets 3 single crochets. Then here 4, 4, 4, then 3, 3. So that's what we are going to do right now. So attach your yarn, and I said the very first space you're going to chain up 1 and single crochet a total of 3 times in that very space. 1, 2 and 3. And then for these 3 spaces, each of them gets 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the next space, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next space, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've told you these parts that intersect, those, each side gets 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the next, 1, 2 and 3. So we are going to go all the way across. 4, 4, 4, then 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, like that up to the end. And the very last one will be getting 3 single crochets. So let me go across and I finish up my row of single crochets. So I've gone all the way across, and you should notice that this row has kind of limited the way that this downer panel was stretching, and that's what we wanted, because it was stretching out of proportion. It was stretching too much, and after your single crochet row, that should be contained. So after this, you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. So we are going to bring back our bra cups. So here they are. I'm going to make sure that this side with the strand is the one that is placed at the base of this motif. Then I also get this one and I do this. Don't worry about the sides not looking the same, because we shall do a final edging at the end of everything. So I just want those strands to be able to attach these bra cups onto the lower part of the top. So the next thing that we are going to do is to attach, and you're going to get your tapestry needle. Let me get mine. Here it is. And you're going to count. You're going to identify the exact middle of your motif. Remember, I had 5 motifs, so that means the exact middle is this loop here of the 3rd motif, because the 3rd is the exact middle. So we're going to count how many boxes we have here on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then you count that one loop on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So 17 times 2, because we were counting the spaces and we were not counting the stitches. I hope I'm clear on that. So it should be 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, the space. So that means we have a total of 34 stitches all the way across that we have to cater for. So we are going to skip this loop here, that loop, the exact middle loop, and we are going to start counting our 34 stitches towards the side from this stitch here, the one that's next to the middle loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. So I'm going to put my needle here, and let's try and stretch this and see if this will be favorable. I think it will stretch to that measurement. Yes, it will. So you're going to put your yarn through this tapestry needle, like that, and then pull it through. Sorry, I've gone in the wrong way. So through the 34th, and make sure it's secure enough. Oh no. Okay, so I'm going through the very first stitch 2 times so that it's secure enough. So the next thing is to go through the space here and go into the next stitch, attach, then go into the stitch and go into the next stitch. So continue to do this all the way across until your stitches are done. So at the end, this is how my work looks like. And I went into that very middle stitch of the 3 and attached it to the next stitch, and I put it there 3 times to make sure it was secure enough. And this is how the work has turned out. So we are going to go to the opposite side and do the same exact thing. We are going to count a total of 34 stitches because I believe your breakups are identical. The spaces should be the same on both sides. So we're going to place it here and do the same exact thing that we've done on this side, going into each space and each stitch, attaching it to the different stitches at the bottom of the bralette. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back when I'm done. So this is what you should be having for your top, and if you try it on and this is a good fitting for you, that's very good for you. But I think this is a very big gap in between, so we're going to be closing it up. So you're going to grab your yarn and then go back to your 2.75mm crochet hook, and we are going to attach our yarn at this point. So you're going to count 3 chains up, 1, 2, 3, and attach our yarn at that point. And then we're going to be working a block row, so we're not going to be chaining in between. So chain 3, place 1 double crochet in that chain 1 space, the very first chain 1 space, then 1 double crochet in the stitch, then go into the space with 1 double crochet, and then into the stitch with 1 double crochet, and we are going to repeat that all the way down to the valley of the top. This is the valley of the top. So continue to do that So we are creating a block row, and you can see this. So I'm almost coming to the base of the top. And when you get here, we're going to do something different. So I'm placing my last double crochet in that stitch, and then another one in that chain one space. So after placing your double crochet in this chain one space, you're going to just directly go into this chain one space here and go into it with a double crochet like that, and this is what we've created. And then we're going to go all the way up, placing one double crochet in the stitch and one in the space, all the way up to the very last stitch. So let me show you how the base looks like now. I think we've managed to close it up a bit. It was too open. So after this, we've come to the end of this row, and now we're going to just be creating some little spikes at the edge of the top to give it a more beautiful look. So you're going to chain up one and turn your work, and you're going to go into the very first stitch with a single crochet, then chain up 4, then you're going to slip stitch into those 2 loops down on the single crochet, slip stitch, and then single crochet once in the next 3 stitches. So these are the small spikes we are creating at the edge of the top. So chain up 4, slip stitch at the base of the single crochet, and then slip stitch once in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3, and continue to do that all the way across. So this is how your top is going to look like in the end. That's how the edging will look like, but if you don't want this, you can eliminate this step. So you can see that the spikes are popping on our right side of our work. They're popping outwards to the right side of our work. And after this, you're going to be working on the sides of the top. I'm going to be giving it an edging too. So you're going to chain up 4, skip this, skip that space, after you chain 4, skip this space, and into that, I don't know how to call it, at the base of this double crochet, you're going to go in there with a double crochet. So we are creating the mesh effect. So chain up 1 and go into, you skip this and then go here. So we are going into the joints of the double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next, like that. That's what we are creating, and you're going to go all the way down to the base of the bra cup. So I've gone all the way down and I have only this space left, so I'll chain up 1 and skip 2 chains on this lower side, and into the 3rd chain I'll make a slip stitch there, and then chain up 1 and cut my yarn. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side so that we achieve something that looks like this. Sorry. So this is the right side of my work. I can tell from the direction of the spikes. So this is the right side, and this is how the edging on the side should be. I don't want to put so many rows on the side because I've already achieved the size of the bra cup that I want, so I don't want to make it any longer or any bigger than what I need. So let me go ahead and do the same exact thing on this side, and then I'll meet you back when we are doing the straps. So I went ahead to do the straps for my top, and these are the normal straps that I usually do for most of my tutorials, and if you've been following along, you should know how to do these ones. You just chain 3, double crochet in the same space, then chain 3, and then double crochet in the space below, chain 3, double crochet in the space below, and so on and so forth. So I did a total of 70 segments. I wanted my straps to be really long so that you can play around with them if you wish. So this is how everything has turned out, and it has a great fitting for the medium size. This is kind of too big for the smaller sizes, so I hope you did for your particular size, one that covers your bust. And in case you find out that this is a bit too big and you're already done with your project, you will just add a few stitches, like stitch up a few stitches here at this point, and that will bring your work a bit in and create a better fitting for you. But for the person who ordered for this, this is her size. So the next thing that you're going to do is to get these straps and turn your work onto the wrong side. I'm sure we shall get rid of these later, not right now. You're going to get the string on this side and put it through the corner of this motif. So the corner of this motif is the one in between these two clusters of 3 double crochets. Put it through there like that and form an X at the back. Bring this one of this side and put it through the corner of this side like that. And then you're going to go into you're going to skip this space and go into the next space. So we are lacing it up like a shoelace, and do the same on this side. Skip one space and then go into the next, and then you go into the very bottom corner in between the groups of 3 double crochets, and that's what you should have. You can see the zigzag pattern. If you don't see clearly, this is what we have. And at this point you'll just tie your strings like this, and that marks the end of our very simple bralette. So I've been notified by most of my subscribers that they don't get notifications when I post, so that one is kind of out of my control right now because I don't know what's going on. But you should be checking out my channel every week because I'll be producing content each and every week. So keep checking on the channel if you don't get notifications, because I keep posting. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.